Today's episode of The Forum contains strong language and dialogue. Parental discretion is advised.
There are some people, Lakers are making that run, they get it to 14. You and LeBron have that exchange. There are people out there that say maybe you shouldn't do that with one of the better players in the game. What were you thinking?
I don't care. He's old. You know what I mean? I was waiting for that. I was expecting him to do that game 4, game 5. He wanted to say something when I got my 4th foul. He shouldn't have said that earlier on. But, you know, I poke bears. I don't respect no one until they come and give me 40. I pride myself on, what I do is defense and taking on any challenge that's on the board.
I don't want to talk much more. Tomorrow's gonna be a great game. I'm not here for bull. I'm ready to play, and that's it. I appreciate it. Thanks.
The stage has been set. The Los Angeles Lakers are headed back home to play a pivotal Game 3 in the first round of the 2023 NBA playoffs. Game 2 was a lot of talking. No urgency, no motivation, lack of energy. In the end, the Memphis Grizzlies took Game 2. Our Lakers are headed home to the Crypto.com arena, where it's going to be a very tense game from start to finish. As we've seen, a whole lot of talking, a lot of chirping. For a team that hasn't done anything, the Memphis Grizzlies are in for a rude awakening. Laker Nation, Game 3, tonight on Saturday, April 22nd, 2023. Purple and gold, we are going home for the next 2 games. And what feels like is going to be a sense of urgency from the Lakers. LeBron James will respond. AD, we need you. Everybody else, let's go. This is our city. We belong here. It's time to put these kids and baby bears in their rightful place. Don't poke the bear, let alone rattle the lion's cage. Memphis, you're in for a long 2 games. You've done rattled the king. You're coming into our building, our house. You will leave with bumps and bruises. Expect it to be very physical. But tonight feels like a Game 7 for the Los Angeles Lakers. Let's go, Lake Show. You know the vibes. Laker Nation, you know what it is. Wear your purple and gold. Be loud tonight. This is The Forum, a Los Angeles Lakers podcast exclusively on the GRYD Network. Lake Show, let's go. Good afternoon, Laker Nation, and welcome to The Forum, a Los Angeles Lakers podcast right here on the GRYD Sports Network. The new leaders in digital media, sports and entertainment. I am your host, exclusive content creator, Patrick L. Brown, and man, a lot of talk over the last few days since Game 2 concluded on Tuesday night. Ladies and gentlemen, this is eventually turned into a series. Our Lakers fell 103-93 to the Grizzlies in what felt like unmotivated basketball from start to finish. A lot to dive into on today's show. As I said at the beginning of the intro monologue, parental discretion is advised because I'm going to unleash today. Excuse me if my voice sounds compromised. My allergies are in full effect here today, but I'm not going to let that stop me from getting off what I have to say, mainly about the Memphis Grizzlies. On deck, we have the lack of energy loses Game 2 in Memphis. AD's lack of physical play against less supreme Grizzlies players. No surprise there. And of course, we got to talk about Dillon Brooks' comments about LeBron and the Kings' response, along with some other liner quotes from Rui Hachimura, and an anonymous NBA player had some interesting things to say in The Athletic about the Memphis Grizzlies. So before we get started with all that, be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe to The GRYD on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, wherever you may listen to your content for your podcasts and whatnot. Be sure that you jump on this wave because we are expanding over here at The GRYD. A lot of great content creators, a lot of stuff coming. So please tell a friend, send the link, do what you got to do, hit that subscribe button, tap into some of the best sports content out right now on The GRYD. And of course, we got a lot to talk about. We have a lot to talk about today. So let's dive into it. Game 2, little to be desired. The Lakers lacked energy from the jump. Memphis came out and played with a sense of urgency, as I predicted earlier in the week after they fell to the Lakers in Game 1, in which 4 players had scored in double figures. And Tuesday night, the Grizzlies jumped out 30-19 in the first quarter. The closest the Lakers were able to get to that game was 8 points, if I'm not mistaken. The box score was little to be desired. LeBron James led the way with 28 points on 38 minutes, had 12 rebounds, a double-double. Austin Reeves, 12 points. D'Angelo Russell had 5 points. Jared Vanderbilt, 8 points. Malik Beasley had 7. And Rui Hachimura finished with 20. It felt like LeBron had played a fairly good game in Game 1, which was more of a fill-out game to see how each team was going to play. Memphis came out and punched the Lakers in the teeth, and they kept punching. The Grizzlies do a whole lot of talking for a team that hasn't won a whole lot. I will discuss them in the next couple segments, but there's no other way to lead off then we all know that the Lakers come and go, ladies and gentlemen. Game 1 was a decent game, solid showing. 4 players in double figures. Austin Reeves reminded everybody that he's him. AD got hurt, nothing to see there, but he came back out in game 1 and finished, despite having a shoulder stinger. Rui Hachimura in his playoff debut scored in double figures. LeBron did his thing, but in Game 2 was the opposite. No energy, no sense of urgency, no motivation. This is the playoffs, ladies and gentlemen. You have to come out and play your hardest from start to finish. You don't leave your opposition any room for hope. Mind you, that the Grizzlies are more of a dangerous team without Ja Morant than they are, which he was hurt in game 1 with a hand injury. He did not play in game 2. But I said the Memphis Grizzlies would come out and put this game out of reach early, which they did. The Los Angeles Lakers, ladies and gentlemen, faced a pivotal game 3 upon Saturday evening at the Crypto.com Arena for games 3 and 4. Whoever wins game 3, 88% of the time wins the series. That's a proven fact. But tonight feels more like a game 7 for our Lakers. It feels like backs against the wall, but at the same time, it's always calm before the storm arrives. LeBron James, 20-year veteran, has been in these situations time and time again throughout his career. He is not fazed by what has transpired in this series thus far. You're a leader and a veteran. Rome wasn't built in one night, and neither did it burn in one day. That's how the media has perceived it to some degree, and also the fan base. I understand everybody is upset that we lost game 2, but at the same time, there has to be a voice of reason. Maybe I'm that guy today to give you my honest thoughts and perspective on game 2 and give you a preview for game 3, which will take place tonight at 8:30 Central Time. Actually 7:30 Central Time, 9:30 out on the East Coast, 8:30 on the East Coast, 5 o'clock out on the West Coast. Check your local listings for game times. I will say that tonight, in general, is about one player, and LeBron James. He is going to get everybody going early, as he usually does. Get a feel for, what Memphis is going to try to do, how he's going to be able to counter. But as we get ready to play this game tonight, a lot of excitement. First home playoff game since 2021, in which we were the 7th seed against the Phoenix Suns. We all know how that series ended for the Lakers, losing in 6. But tonight, it's going to be a different feel. You know why? A team coming in who calls themselves a quote-unquote dynasty. Last time I checked, the Memphis Grizzlies had not won a championship. They had not been to the NBA Finals. As we've seen last year during their playoff run against Golden State, our division rival, they kept poking the Warriors. They kept poking them. It was comical at times. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to remind you, the Memphis Grizzlies, you are not a dynasty. There are levels to this. You have not won games in the trenches. We talk more about what the Memphis Grizzlies say off the court versus what they did. We talk more about their outfits and their pregame stuff than we do them winning basketball games. It's comical. It's clickbait. I find it hysterically funny. As we get ready to take on these baby bears who are still wet behind the ears and still playing child's play. They've yet to grow up. They are the epitome of what the city of Memphis is about. Grind. But I'm here to tell you, when the bright lights come on in LA, you better show up. The last time Memphis was in LA for a regular season game, Shannon Sharp, Uncle Shay Shay, put the fear of God in them. Dillon Brooks got the yapping with Shannon Sharp, who was sitting courtside. Let's just say that I don't think anybody would want to run up on Shannon Sharp, NFL tight end, and who is also in the Hall of Fame, by the way. Dillon Brooks, respect your elders. This game feels like it's going to be ugly. Do I believe it's going to be a blowout? I'll give you my preview for Game 3 near the end of the show. But tonight, I expect LeBron James to have a triple-double. I believe he's going to score 30-plus with 10 rebounds, 11 assists. He's going to take control of this game midway through the third, early fourth quarter, near the end. Just kind of get the matchup that he wants with Dillon Brooks. I have some interesting stats for you as well. As we look into this whole shebang, I'm pretty pissed off about one player, two initials. AD. Game 1, shoulder stinger, was able to finish the game. Game 2, he looked unmotivated. Why the hell are you selling for jump shots, AD? You're going up against smaller players on the Memphis bench, and they're not playing you. You look like ass, AD. And reason why I put that disclaimer to start the show, because I wanted to do a rant on AD on my TikTok, but due to mental and physical exhaustion, I didn't have the energy for it. But I have enough energy today to go off on AD. Anthony Davis, quit showing your ass and play like a champion. You are a top 75 player. In order to win a championship, we need you to be dialed in. We need you to play with a physical force. I get tired and pissed off each and every time I have to come on my show and rant about AD. He has a low motor. One night you get the V12, who's effective on both ends of the floor, can go out and get you 25 and 12. And then you have the hybrid motor, who gives you 13 points, 9 rebounds, whatever the case may be. You're either dialed in AD or you're not. If I have to motivate you, you're not meant to be a Laker. That's just what it is. I'm tired of it. All of Laker Nation is tired of his low-end motor, and then you just say, oh, I'm going to go out and dominate tonight. Dominate every single game, AD. Dominate. You know how much I love Giannis. Giannis needs no motivation. I know what I'm getting out of Giannis every single night. In a perfect world, I would trade AD for Giannis. I would. Because at least I know what I'm getting from Giannis every single night. AD is just like, okay, you punch in to go to work, you do enough to get by, and then you go home. This is the playoffs, AD. Why the hell are you not getting back on defense? It's aggravating. Some nights you look like one of the second best players in the league, and there's other nights you just look like a role player. Top 75 on a good night, top 150 on a bad night. You are a max player, AD. You're getting paid to be the co-star of the Los Angeles Lakers. You look more like a supporting actor at this point, because you're not a co-star. It pisses me off, and it pisses the rest of Laker Nation off, that we have to sit here and watch this bull jive every other night and try to figure out which AD is going to show up. Will the real AD please stand up? Where are you? Why do we have to put out a missing player alert just so we can find you on the sidelines? or on the court. Why, AD? Why must you do this? If we are going to win a championship, we need you every single game. We need your effort. We need your energy. Whatever you got to do, if your shot is not falling, at least be aggressive on the defensive end. Can you do that? Can you do that, AD? Can you at least give us 5 blocks? Can you give us, 12, 15 rebounds? Can you do that, AD? Please, for the sake of Laker Nation and for the team? What more do I need to say? What more do I need to say about Anthony Davis? Some nights he looks like AD. Other nights he looks like Alfred Davis. The butler from Batman. Because every night he doesn't show up, I'm start calling him Alfred Davis. That's what I'm start calling him. That's his new name for me, Alfred Davis. He's not Anthony. Until he looks like Anthony. He looks like Alfred the butler. Seriously. I can't make this up. The play speaks for itself. The proof is in the highlights. When you have to be motivated every damn night to go out and play AD, you can't be a Laker. This is in New Orleans. You are in the biggest stage, the biggest market, the biggest brand in the NBA outside of the New York Knicks. By golly, George, if I were the head coach and I were on the team, I'd tell him, get your head out of your ass and play. I'm tired of it. I can't deal with it. My anxiety is not built to deal with lack of motivation from any athlete, regardless if it's football, basketball, baseball, soccer. I can't deal with it. As a former athlete, high school athlete, and I played basketball, you didn't have to motivate me to go out and do my job. Seriously. I know I apologize in advance if my voice sounds compromised, but I got to get this off my chest about Anthony Davis, Laker Nation. He pisses me off. And I mean that with every ounce of energy in my body. AD, get your head out of your ass. We need you. Stop whining. Be physical. You're 6'11". You can pull up and hit a jump shot, but if that jump shot's not falling, take your ass down to the rim and dominate. AD, Anthony Davis, please show up. Will the real AD please stand up? Now that we got that out of the way, let's move on into the comments, which were said by one Dillon Brooks. Here we go. Dillon Brooks after game 2. Quote, I poke bears. I don't respect no one until they come and give me 40 points, end quote. Dillon Brooks, you're a clown. You are a clown. For someone that is more worried about what to wear for pregame and having your hair looking like you're about to go to the player haters ball, to my younger audiences, I would recommend you to go back and watch some of the 70s black exploitation films to find out, to understand what a player's ball is. A player's ball was all the men who dressed up in tailor-made suits and had their hair laid and whatnot. Every time I see Dillon Brooks, that's who he reminds me of. Someone who's going to a player's ball. He said that he would love to have guarded LeBron when he was in Miami and Cleveland. Now, remind you, 2012 through 2018, LeBron was a different animal. Dillon Brooks, I'm here to remind you that era LeBron would have mopped your ass all over the court. I kid you not. LeBron doesn't take orders from peasants. He would have beat you with his physicality. Take 10 years from his age now of 38, that LeBron was unstoppable for that period of time. LeBron was still dropping 28, 8, and 7, and one of the better defenders in the league at that time. Miami LeBron was different. You wouldn't want to face that, LeBron, Dillon Brooks. He would have smoked you like a blunt and thought nothing of it. you wouldn't have been able to handle LeBron. Jump shot, he can defend, get to the rim, just like he still can today. We may be a little bit slower, but 10 years ago, that LeBron was unstoppable. Who should have won Defensive Player of the Year in 2013? That's neither here nor there. But Dillon Brooks, we're going to put you in timeout. According to NBA.com, here's a fun stat for you. LeBron James has scored 26 of his 49 points against Brooks, shooting better than 61.1% against Dillon Brooks. Really? Seriously? You mean to tell me LeBron scored 26 of his 49 points in these last two games against Dillon Brooks? Yeah, that's according to NBA.com. Dillon Brooks, you're a clown. Face it. You don't want the smoke. You are all talk. I have some interesting comments about them here shortly. LeBron James, after practice yesterday, he responded by saying, I'm paraphrasing, I'm not here for the bullshit. End quote. LeBron is business. Is all business. He doesn't need motivation. Why would he want to, take orders from a little cub? He's a lion. Lions are hunters. The Memphis Grizzlies have now become the hunted. Because you done pissed off LeBron James. And he's going to go out there. He's not going to say much during the game. He's going to let his play do the talking. That's what the Lakers are going to do. They don't have to talk. Rui Hachimura, I love what he had to say. And he's slowly but surely becoming a fan favorite. In his playoff debut, he's been remarkable. I say time and time again, thank you, Washington Wizards, for letting us have Rui Hachimura and unlocking the skill sets that he possessed, because he's been phenomenal for the Lakers so far. Rui said this, quote, the Grizzlies are a young team. They just want to talk. We really don't care. We're just going to play our game and try to win, unquote. I love that. I love that, Rui. I love that mentality. I love it. Thank you. He said that yesterday after the media session after practice. Rui Hachimura is slowly adopting the Laker way, how we do things. Don't do a whole lot of talking. Just go out and play. The Mamba mentality. I'm telling you, Laker Nation, I love this kid. I love this young man. He's in a place where his skill sets can be played to maximum capabilities. He's been a godsend, along with Austin Reeves, Malik Beasley, D'Angelo Russell, Vando, Mo Bamba, when he's been able to get out on the floor. Rui Hachimura is going to have a big game, I feel, tonight. I think tonight is going to be a game he may drop 30. Once the three-point shot starts falling, his jump shot, and he's getting the right looks and at the right time, I think he's going to have a phenomenal game tonight, along with Austin Reeves. Also, this came from an anonymous NBA player about the Grizzlies via The Athletic. I'm reading you the quote. Anonymous NBA player says, quote, "They're front runners. They're just extra. They talk when they're winning. They don't say shit when they're losing. Their whole thing over there is just annoying," end quote. I have to agree with that. I think every media pundit within the last 2 years has said that the Memphis Grizzlies are all talk. Where was this at whenever they lost game 1? Didn't say it, didn't hear a word. They win game 2. Oh, the series is over. LeBron's old. The Lakers are done. We're moving on to the next round. Newsflash, Memphis. First one of 4 wins. Not one game. This is a 7-game series. The stage has been set. You better come out with your A game and back it up. Because if not, you would get blown out tonight. You think you're tough? We're going to see. I think everybody in the NBA, as far as fans go, are tired of the Memphis Grizzlies with the exception of the Grizzlies fans. They embody everything that is about the city. Grind and hustle. And everything just flows. Great food in Memphis. Bill Street's always popping. Graceland's in Memphis. And Stax Records is in Memphis. Home of Elvis Presley. But at the end of the day, the Memphis Grizzlies, you're not Grizzlies, you're baby bears. They should just call you Cubs. Don't poke the lion, because guess what? He would devour you without question. Rest assured, you believe that you're going to beat us, but you better back it up. We don't know if Ja Morant's going to play tonight. That's beyond my control. Regardless who's out there on that court, all hands on deck. Memphis Grizzlies, you've been warned. We don't care about what you got to say. You keep talking. If it, strokes your ego and puts you in a safe space, so be it. I don't give two flips. Only thing I care about is winning game 3 before we can move on to through the remaining of the series. Tonight, game 3, 88% of the teams who win game 3 win the series. As we segue into the last topic of the show today, we are going to preview game 3. Game 3, series is tied 1-1. Lakers took game 1. Grizzlies took game 2. It feels like a game 7 tonight. For some reason, every time a series is tied to 1 game apiece, the competitive juices run very high. The energy in the crypt is going to be phenomenal. I wish I can be there. I really do. I know the weather will be a lot better there than it is here in the Midwest. Due to financial stuff and everything, I'm not able to be there, but I would do my very best to stay up and watch the game tonight, or listen to it on the Lakers app with Ireland and Michael Thompson. Shout out to those guys that do a phenomenal job with the radio broadcast on ESPN 710. Tonight, I look for the Lakers to play their asses off. I really do. After the lackadaisical performance in game 2, Anthony Davis better show up tonight as well. He better show up. I don't want to see him on the sidelines getting everybody hyped and then get out on the floor and just come and go like a revival, just like you go in and out the turnstiles at the arena. They will be led tonight in scoring by LeBron James. I believe he drops a triple-double. He's going to set the tone early. Austin Reeves is going to get his. Rui Hachimura. D'Angelo Russell is going to find his shot tonight. Malik Beasley, Dennis the Menace Schroeder is going to find his tonight as well. I believe the Memphis Grizzlies have bit off more than what they can chew. It's going to be ugly. It's going to be entertaining. I would not be a bit surprised if there are technical fouls tonight. I would not be surprised. The way this series has started and all the chirping. And Laker Nation, every time Dillon Brooks touches the ball, boo the hell out of him. Because he asked for it. You want to be the man, you better back it up. But you're not an all-star. You're not a superstar. You're just a decent role player at best. Everybody is looking to see how LeBron James is going to guard Dillon Brooks. Because that's the matchup everybody's wanting to see right now. Late game, when Dillon Brooks has got the ball, don't be surprised if LeBron is on him. Jaren Jackson Jr., the Defensive Player of the Year recipient, will do all he can to keep the Grizzlies in this game. Desmond Bane But the one player that concerns me that probably goes under the radar is Tyus Jones. Tyus Jones could get going at any given moment for the Memphis Grizzlies. He's not afraid of big moments. Regardless of what the circumstances of the game is, he would play his tail off. But tonight, Laker Nation, it's Game 7. Just look at it as a Game 7. We cannot afford to lose this game tonight. We lose this game, expect more talking from the Memphis Grizzlies, but who gets a flying flip? I don't. Yeah, we may be pissed off at the end of the game, but I hope that this team shows up from start to finish. It reminds Memphis that there's levels to this. You're not a champion. You're not a dynasty. You've got a long way to go before you can consider yourself a dynasty. You've got to win multiple championships. How many banners do you have hanging up at the FedEx Forum? How many jerseys do you have hanging in the rafters as well? How many players have statues outside of the FedEx Forum? Are there streets named after any, historically great Memphis player? Sensational as Ja Morant is, he too is in for rude awakening, and we're seeing that the ramifications of his behavior. As we come to a close for today's game, or today's show, I'm thinking about the game ahead of time. Be sure that you take care of your mental and your physical health. The reason why I say that is there's a lot of stuff going on in our society today, in the community. But I want you all to know that it's okay to not be okay. Laker Nation, if you know of anybody in your family or within your inner circle that needs counseling or therapy, please seek treatments for that. In the world we live in today, mental health is the forefront of a lot of our trauma. I know that being in Los Angeles, there's a lot of stuff that goes on. We see it every day on the news. But I want to encourage you to do what you can to take care of your mental health. Do what's necessary in order to become a better version of yourself. It's okay to admit that you're anxious and you feel depressed. Don't let society put that in your head that you're not able and capable of seeking therapy. As I close my show, enjoy the game tonight. Be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe to The Grid on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, even the Grid YouTube channel. Subscribe to that. Also, swing over to the Grid webpage and get the merch. Yes, we do have the Forum merch is available on the Grid webpage on Spreadshop.com. Enter the grid.myspreadshop.com and you will see all the content creators merchandise on the webpage. We greatly appreciate your support for the Grid Network. Please subscribe and share. We are expanding the network. A lot of content creators are doing their thing. A lot of great shows on the Grid. And I'm excited to be a part of it. Laker Nation, you know the vibes. Have a great rest of your afternoon. Please take care of your mental health, your physical, spiritual, and intimate health. Be kind today. Spread love. Stay safe. And don't let anybody take your sunshine away from you. Be the Mamba. Be the Mamba. Become a better version of yourself. That's all the time for today. I'm out of here. This is Patrick L. Brown, your host, content creator, and executive producer of the Forum, a Los Angeles Lakers podcast. Go Lakers. Lake Show. Let's go. Peace out.
Detroit.